Hello neighbors. I wanted to tell you about a meeting I went to the other night. The Dunn County Board of Supervisors held a special meeting in which they invited local state representatives to come to the county and hear the concerns. There were 3 Republican lawmakers in attendance, and I think to the average person it might have seemed like a pretty boring meeting, but what I saw there was stunning, at least in my view. So several county board supervisors put together presentations about the issues in Dunn County affected by state policy, including water quality, the Medicaid reimbursement rate, broadband expansion, and altering the levy limit law. And to give you an example of those presentations, I have an excerpt of one here from the levy limit law, or about the levy limit law. After 13 years of the levy limit law, Dunn County has exhausted our reserves. As a result, the county has had no choice but to reduce levels of service and terminate programs. For example, in last year's budget, we eliminated our home health division, which had served our citizens for over 30 years. These reductions have real consequences for county residents. Cuts adversely affect the elderly, child support services, those with financial needs, those with mental health issues, the response time for emergencies, the maintenance schedule for public infrastructure, and the livelihoods of county employees who may face reduction in hours or layoffs. The people that are negatively impacted by the consequences of the levy limit law are not abstract issues and statistics. They are our parents, our children, our neighbors, and friends. So this is an example of the real-life stories that these state lawmakers heard. And so after the supervisors were done with these presentations, one by one, the lawmakers addressed the board and the public who was gathered there. And one by one, basically, they all threw their arms up and said, "Nothing we can do about it. Great stories. Nice to be here. Nothing we can do about it." You know, I think a big problem with politics, and one of the biggest issues that we face, is the complacency that has been heaped upon us by decades of propaganda and decades of just living in this system. And so many people think that that's just the way it is. There's nothing we can do. It's a scandal happening in Madison right now. There is something they can do, and they didn't even bother to give any platitudes to the people there. In fact, one guy was smirking. There were people in the audience who work at the Neighbors of Dunn County Nursing Home. There are people there who work in Health and Human Services. And after hearing stories about this, about how the county could go bankrupt, the nursing home could close, they were just saying, nothing we can do about it. And that's a lie. Every year, they give hundreds of millions of dollars, taxpayer dollars, to their rich, well-connected friends. And that just goes without saying. It doesn't have to be that way. And so as a candidate for state assembly, I'm asking you to join me and to make changes, to demand changes, so that we, as a community, can go there and say, yes, there is something else we can do. When you hear from your county about how strapped they are, about how services are being cut, about how there's a chance that everything could go bankrupt, you offer solutions. And you can do that when you're not corrupt. But down there in Madison, we could have been talking to state Republican lawmakers from any part of the state, and they would have said the exact same thing, because they go there and they all vote the same. Don't fool yourself. It does not have to be that way. So check out my campaign, calabresforwisconsin.com. We're going to get in there, and as soon as we do, we're going to make the changes, because the changes are possible. Thank you.